And welcome back to the DevSec 2023 podcast, sponsored by our good friends at Cisco. I'm Alan Dale. With me, as always, my good buddy Jerry Crew. We are Gale Force Winds, you know. It's great to be back on the trade show floor. It's good to see commerce happening. There's a great buzz here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of this stuff doesn't happen without institutions and associations all leaning in, bringing people together. Derek, you're a member of one of those associations. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure, I'm Derek Hughes. I did a full career with the Navy, submarines and ships, and after that I got into consulting for the last 10 years. So lots of time in Ottawa, lots of time on the coast and things like that. So, but my real passion's been about the marine engineering community and giving back, and I've been able to do that through CIMarE, so Canadian Institute of Marine Engineers, and so we're about 500 folks across Canada, 7 branches, and so we do scholarships, just giving back to local recruiting and things like that. We do technical papers, so a broad range of things that each of the branches do. And as a follow-on, one of the things that's been very important to us is our conference we do each year. So we've got a conference next year in St. John's, Newfoundland on the 14th to the 16th of May. And that's where we bring the technical folks together from a marine sector perspective. And they get a chance to interact, network, similar to DevSec, which this has been the first time we've attended DevSec. And it's been a great, great operation, great chance to network and connect with folks. And really just sort of pass on what we're trying to accomplish. And,
Derek, the name of that conference is what?
So our conference is MARE Tech 2024, so next year in Newfoundland, and then after that it's Montreal. So we do rotate between the branches, and the idea is to give a flavor for the local branch. It allows them to do local membership and then to really spread the word locally, and also sort of connect with the technologies that are in the local area, so across Canada.
Now, MARE Tech is one of those conferences, trade show type things that it's almost a must attend if you're in the marine sector.
Well, to be fair, we've grown the brand over the last number of years. It's, folks who might have attended 15 years ago, totally different today. Right. So our formula is 2 days of really strong technical papers, panels, 3 to 4 panels. We also have PSBC Outlook that get involved. We're certainly looking at next year to work with Akeda, so they're going to work with us in Newfoundland. We were fortunate in Vancouver this past April to work with ABCMI, so that allows associations to come in and, us as a CIMarE not-for-profit society, really providing a platform for companies to connect and folks to sort of interact from the marine community. So yeah, so we've really grown from a conference perspective, and so we're in a mature state now, and hence why we're here at DevSec, because we've got our branding sorted, and and it really passes the word, and it says, by the way, we've got a lot to give back, and certainly with the students and recruiting that we're trying to accomplish over the next number of years. So.
Yeah, students and recruiting. I want to circle back to that in a moment, because that's almost a vital part of a MARE Tech for sure. Yeah. Talk about the technical discussions. I was at MARE Tech last year, and great conversations around that next generation of fuel and propulsion and environmental, top of mind, all of the right conversations happening. Tell me about the importance of that.
So, well asked question, and I've been with the MARE Tech team sort of as a volunteer behind the scenes planning, because it takes about a year to plan these things, and so specifically from a technical perspective, Vancouver, we had 50 technical submissions, and we chose 14 papers. So you can see the volume of interest, and what we tend to do is have a theme with each of the conferences, and so Newfoundland's about sustainability, and so we're about to do the call for papers. That'll come in. We'll have got an ad hoc committee that will select the program to have a nice fit between what the panels are doing and certainly the presentations themselves, so very high technical level, right? So it's a slightly different dynamic than when you would go to certain other conferences and that. But we offer a bit of a hybrid, a bit of a flavor that we try and do, and provide the smaller businesses an opportunity to come together, because you do get some of the big conglomerates that, sort of, it's a different dynamic. So all need a forum, and we provide that forum.
Now, at MARE Tech, I remember when the doors opened and the students came in and their eyes were lit up with the opportunity that was in the room. Tell me the importance of making that connection into that next generation of seafarer or marine engineer.
Well, another great question, because it was really, we've always been about the students and increase in the membership, beyond the 40 plus. We'd love to get the younger folks engaged in that, because professional development, certainly in my career, is very important from being a professional engineer and through PMI, you've got professional development that you need to get over your career. So from a student perspective, as they're coming into this community, they've got to see the networking, they've got to see the camaraderie we have, and a future for the next 25, 30 years of potentially their career. So what we did a couple of years ago, we came up with a student program in Great Lakes, gave it a litmus test there. Vancouver was quite successful, and Newfoundland's going to be successful. And the idea is you bring the students in on the Thursday, the second day, and they come in, they do initial brief, and then they do basically a speed dating to a number of companies selected, and they have a box lunch, and then they do a ship's tour. And so in Newfoundland, we're hoping for a Coast Guard vessel is getting sorted, and the Navy's interested in putting one of their vessels alongside. So that gives a tactile, the students are opportunity to interact and see real sailors and those types of things. So that, I find that dynamic and that flavor is really good. And how are you going to catch the interest of a young student who's 17, 18-year-old and want to join the Navy the way I did, right? So.
Now, the interesting thing, of course, about Maritech 2024 is that it follows very closely to MASS 2024. So you've got both shows going, both with a very interesting maritime lens, capturing a lot of the same audience. So hopefully a lot of the people will stay on for both shows.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of leverage, we don't see ourselves as in competition.
Right.
We complement each other.
100%, yeah.
And the way I like it is we're in an open forum. So there's certain times when I can't speak to certain people because I work on the government side of things, when RP's on the street and that. But obviously in forums like this, you can have that camaraderie, that connection, that dialogue over a cup of coffee and that, right? So both conferences provide a great venue, and then companies need to be able to come out and share their technology, because there's some great technologies that have come along, but they're not getting the exposure. So how do you do that, right?
Right. So Derek, I guess the big pitch is to get people to join CIMarE, and also let's get a big attendance at Maritech 2024.
Yeah, so far we got a lot of attention here, and right now, even starting for Newfoundland, and our program's just starting to be built, we've got 36 or so booths already signed up, and a lot of folks that we've made the rounds the last 2 days are very interested in also being part of it. And that's a good thing, because we're non-for-profit, I'm a volunteer, so I've got nothing to gain but giving something back to the community.
Derek, an absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you. Thank you for doing what you do, and such an incredible program that you guys put together, so vitally important for that next generation coming through.
Thanks very much, and thanks for your efforts for this work, because it's very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.